Going for a paddle. It's a beautiful morning. The goal is to head upstream with the tide coming in, not that it's pushing in that fast at the moment, and then come back with the tide later on, just to make it a little bit easier paddling. That's the plan. But absolutely beautiful morning.
So about an hour later, we finally make our way up this creek, and as you can see, the tide's already turned. It's running out pretty hard now. And look, I know just around this corner there's a rock bar on the right hand side, so I'm just making a few casts, just waiting to get into position. And I guess that's what's so good about having a Hobie, is that you can just do little pedals, as you can see, just a few little pedals, just so to keep us into position while I can still be casting. I've got my favourite Lucky Craft pointer on. It's got quite a bit of damage done to it over the years. I don't know how I've still got the thing. It's caught so many fish in some pretty ugly terrain. I guess I'm using 30-pound line with a 50-pound leader, so we're really not mucking around. I think I'm using my Exist here and a pretty stout drag setting. And just coming around the corner, just waiting to get a bit of a shot here at this rock bar. As you can see, yeah, the tide's running pretty hard, and this works out pretty nicely. We're actually after some jacks. My PB jack came off this rock bar at 51 centimeters. Unfortunately, this guy was just a little gold spot cod. Didn't get the jack this time round. So we quickly get rid of him and get the old man up here to have a bit of a cast. I've chucked in another sneaky cast in the meantime while he comes up here on my left. I just drop a fish here. The rocks actually start right at the front of the kayak here. That's a good cast right down the side here, and that's what's great about lure fishing. If you put in those good casts, you can get the reward. And here I can feel the lure bouncing over the rocks, so I'm just sort of trying to tweak it over the rocks, and yeah, it's just a process of getting that lure into the right spot. I guess that's what the difference is when I fish with a lot of people of varying fishing abilities, and just what I find people get frustrated with is just not being able to get the fish, but you really do need to get that lure into the right spot. Yeah, to get another little cod. We give this a bit of a working over for some time. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that onto a fish here. It was really quite slow.
Dad just fell in, getting out of his kayak. Beautiful day. Lucky he fell in at the shallow end. Nice spot to get out and stretch the legs. Your legs aren't working.
So here we go, taking the drone off from a kayak. I'd never done this before. I was a little bit nervous about it. There was a bit of breeze. So what I did is I tucked in behind this mangrove just to make it a little bit calmer. And yeah, it was actually really quite simple in the end, as you'd expect, just to take it off. A tip I guess I'd give to anyone trying to do this is just make sure the drone's pointing away from you, so you don't have any problems with the obstacle avoidance sensors. I guess if you've got a newer generation Phantom, they do have them at the back, which could be a little bit of an issue. But here, great footage from the drone. I've been fishing this spot for many years and never seen it from the air, so you can clearly see the structure that we're here fishing. It's a mud flat that just drops straight off vertically. And yeah, I've caught some really great fish here over the years. And as you can see, pretty obvious here, just trying to get the kayak in a position so that I can bring my lure back down across this drop off. The challenge is getting a good cast in without spooking the fish, but that's what's so great about the kayak. And here I've hooked up, so now I've got the dilemma of, do I pull the rod over my left shoulder to even up the kayak, but then I'm sort of pulling the fish between, like towards the mud and that drop off. So in a perfect world, you'd be pulling the rod over your left shoulder to move the kayak away, but I had to pull over the right to try to move the fish away from the structure. But fortunately, this little jack didn't have any issues there. I guess their 30-pound main line, 40-pound leader, I think it was, or 50-pound, certainly will sort out that sort of a fish pretty easily. And here it is from the kayak. I was just trying something different. I fitted the GoPro to my cap, just as a little bit of a different option there, just to see what it's like, and yeah, it's worked out pretty good, I reckon. Yeah, see, I'm pulling the rod over my right shoulder here, whereas if I pulled it over my left, the kayak would move away, but just trying to keep the fish away from that structure. I think I would have been in a bit of trouble if it was a bigger fish. Over the years, we've had all sorts of fish turn up here, from big Jews, finger mark, obviously jacks, barra. Yeah, it's pretty good.